Welcome to another Super Deluxe Edition unboxing video. Today we're going to take a look at all the formats of the Police Synchronicity reissue. So we're going to look at the 6 CD Super Deluxe Edition, which is what I'm holding in my hands at the moment. We're going to take a look at the 4 LP Super Deluxe, and then also the 2 LP coloured vinyl, the 2 CD and the single vinyl picture disc edition. So this came out last week, much anticipated since this is the first Police box set we've really had with unreleased material in it. And I guess Synchronicity is a reasonable place to start. They're probably going to work backwards. So I did give you a bit of a sneak preview of this in July's box set and reissue catch up on the SDE channel. But we can now have a proper deep dive, and obviously this is a large format box set, classic artwork on the front, some spot varnishing which is quite clear to see in the light there on both sides. There's the spine. Yeah, so it looks good. We've got a hard back book in here, and there's the hype sticker that you get on the front. So we're going to come onto this with the vinyl one actually, but 6 discs, 55 previously unreleased tracks, remastered, 60-page hardcover book. There's some art prints as well in here. Both the vinyl and the CD Super Deluxe editions give you this little wallet with some art prints. They're actually quite nice. Large format. As I said before, they're quite frameable, these, so not sure they needed to do this, but quite nice to have, I guess. And then when it comes to the CD box set itself, it's basically all in this book. There's the first 3 discs, and in the back cover you get the last 3 discs. These are all CDs, there's no visual content at all. But the good news is they're all in their own little card sleeves. It tells you what everything is. So that's the original album, CD2 is B-sides and bonus tracks, and CD3 is the first of 2 CDs full of unreleased material. So there's the original album. These are the B-sides and bonus tracks, different cover variations. Of course, famously this album had 30 plus cover variations, so they've used some of the variations on the artwork for the individual CDs. One of them is this very nice sort of sepia, bronze, silver, gold, however you want to describe it. So these are some of the unreleased tracks are on here. When you take the CD out, you do get some photographic imagery behind the disc, so that's quite a nice touch. Good attention to detail. May as well finish off with the discs. So this is the second of the 2 discs that feature completely unreleased tracks. They don't have any of the track listings on the sleeves, so you have to refer to the booklet or the book for that. And then the 2 live discs, they kind of got a slightly different look to them, but the actual discs themselves remain consistent. So that's how the discs work. The book itself is really good. There's loads of great notes here telling the story of the album, photos, contact sheets, that kind of thing. I mean, it's really quite straightforward, this box set, but not in a bad way. The book kind of delivers what you'd expect, but I think it's the audio content on the CDs that makes this a kind of outstanding product. So let's talk about some of the content, shall we? The CD2, what this does is it gathers together all the kind of B-sides and extra tracks that were on the singles at the time. So that's what this is about. So there's nothing previously unreleased, but it's quite a comprehensive exercise in terms of gathering everything together. The audio research and the compilation, the curation was done by Craig Betts, who's a super Police fan. So he knows what he's doing, and he's done a very good job with this. So there's, I mean, at first it seems a bit confusing. There's a Roxanne backing track, for example, and you kind of think, well, what's that doing on a Synchronicity box set? Well, the answer is There was a Japanese 7-inch single that had Every Breath You Take backing track on the A side and Roxanne on the B side, which is weird in of itself, but that's what happens, so that they get included. The live tracks were on kind of 12 inches, I think. I mean, the only sort of vaguely questionable inclusion, I think, is the derangements of Walking in Your Footsteps and Tea in the Sahara that are relatively recent from Stuart Copeland's album. I'm not sure we needed those again, but I mean, you get Every Bomb You Make that was recorded for Spitting Image. That came out on a sort of record store day, 7-inch. But anyway, it's a good comprehensive collection of all that stuff. So that's what CD2 is about. But the meat of this particular deluxe edition or super deluxe edition are the unreleased tracks, and there's a lot of them, 55 as they said. There's some quite good notes at the side here that sort of give you some information on the tracks, but this is really, you know, fantastic stuff. There's demos of virtually every track on the album, and these are Sting demos that he recorded November 1982 with Pete Smith at Utopia Studios in London. So this isn't him in his bedroom with an acoustic guitar. These are proper worked out demos, you know, drum machines, kind of multi-layered recordings. They're really very good demos. In fact, Pete Smith, who Sting recorded these with, would go on to produce The Dream of the Blue Turtles. So, you know, he kind of obviously had a good relationship with Sting. The demos are fantastic, and they just show you how well thought out the songs were from Sting from the outset. The most obvious difference is the Every Breath You Take demo, which is not played on guitar, it's played on piano. But yeah, I mean, they're all really, really interesting. King of Pain, I mean, one of the highlights. Normally demos, you kind of think, do I need them? You know, how often am I going to listen to them? These are demos you're going to listen to quite a lot because they're good enough to endure repeated plays. Some of the outtakes and alternate versions are also very interesting. Oh My God in particular, because the demo and some of the other versions are very different from the actual album version. I mean, the demo is a kind of funky sort of Dream of the Blue Turtles type thing, and it gets stripped back down for the album in the end. There's lots I could say about the demos, but these two CDs are brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and you really have to buy the Super Deluxe Edition. I mean, we'll get on to some of the other formats, but I would say this is essential, this CD. Even if you're a vinyl collector, you need to buy this, because the vinyl box set doesn't have some of this content. And the last two discs here are a previously unreleased live performance from California in September '83. So across two discs, pretty sure this is the whole concert. So yeah, hardcover book. You got the art print. All that goes into the slipcase. So this is the 6 CD Super Deluxe. This is the recommended format, to be honest. This is the only format you can get that has everything on it. All the unreleased material, 55 unreleased tracks. Everything else is a bit of a compromise because it kind of offers you slightly less. So let's have a look at the 4 LP version and see how this compares. So here we go, 4 LP set, same box. I thought it was actually an identical box. It's slightly thicker, this one. But other than that, everything's kind of identical. And you get 4 vinyl records, and you get the same prints in the sleeve here. I won't get them all out again, but you get the same 4 prints as per the 6 CD Super Deluxe. One thing it's worth noting here is that it says 60-page lavish colour hardback book. It's not a hardback book in the vinyl set. Obviously a bit of a copy and paste error from the designer on that one, because it had to be a hardcover book to hold the CDs in the CD set. In the vinyl set, it's a soft cover book. Everything else is the same. I've been through it. This book is identical to the hardcover book, other than when it gets to the track listing details at the back, obviously. Let's have a look at the records then. So this is the standard vinyl, fairly much as you'd expect. These are all kind of top loading, the way that it's been designed. You pull it out from the top. which I imagine was how it was for the original. They all have printed inner sleeves, these vinyl records. Now the second LP, this is the sleeve for it. So this is B-sides and bonus tracks. But you don't get quite as many as you do on the CD. So there's 12 tracks on here, you get 18 on the CD version of this. So for example, you don't get Every Bomb You Make. You don't get the derangements of Tea in the Sahara and Walking in Your Footsteps. There's some live tracks missing, I think. So it's a sort of cut down version. Again, printed in a sleeve. And then the last two albums are unreleased tracks, Unreleased Part 1, Unreleased Part 2. 21 unreleased tracks in total. Don't forget there was 55 in the CD, so it's quite a big difference. The key thing you don't get in the vinyl is you don't get any of the demos, and the demos are a very, very attractive part of the offering. So that's one thing to bear in mind. There's 8 or 9 demos, you don't get any of them. What you do get is all the alternate mixes. They're still really good, but not having the demos is a big miss in my opinion. So this is Unreleased Material Part 2. It's got the kind of alternate sleeve. Won't bother getting the vinyl out on this one. Again, more alternate versions, King of Pain. Alternate version of King of Pain, then you get alternate mixes, which are different things really. Wrapped Around Your Finger. There are a couple of unreleased tracks here. There's one called Loch, which is like a kind of instrumental bit. That ended up going in between Synchronicity 1 and Synchronicity 2 in the extended version of Synchronicity. Ragged Man. There's a couple of old rock and roll covers that they did, 3 Steps to Heaven and Rock and Roll Music. There was some sort of suggestion that maybe they were going to do a kind of an album of 50s rock and roll music, but Hugh Padgham told me that was never on the cards. So, you know, vinyl is nice, but for box sets, it doesn't always work, does it? Because you pay similar amounts and you get less, quite a lot less material in the vinyl Super Deluxe Edition. So that's the vinyl Super Deluxe Edition of Synchronicity, 4 LPs. Let's have a look at the picture disc next. This is the picture disc version, which has an alternate running order, alternate sequence, featuring the original A&M Records running order and masters before changing to the final 1983 version. So what they're saying is this was genuinely in the running to be the sequence of the album at some point, before they changed it famously to be fast songs on side 1 and slow songs on side 2. I do like this actually, die cut sleeve. The actual vinyl comes in this plastic sleeve. May as well get it out. It looks good. I mean, they're giving you something different, which is I like. It's not just the album on vinyl in a picture disc form. There's the Synchronicity vinyl picture disc. So let's just sort that out, because that's going to do my OCD there. Need to put it in properly. There we go. Now there are 3 vinyl versions of this reissue. This is a kind of D to C coloured vinyl limited edition. So it's this is a 2 LP set. So LP1 is the original album, and then LP2 is the bonus tracks album that was one of the 4 discs in the 4 LP version. Actually, I'm just looking at this. I said it didn't have Every Bomb You Make on it, and it actually does, so ignore that. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so it is identical. It's not different. Gatefold. These are coloured vinyl pressings. You do get some of the notes as well in this edition. So it is nice, because that yellow is a very good match for the yellow in the design. And then again, the red's quite a nice red, quite a nice match. I think if I was going to buy a vinyl format, if I was only going to buy one vinyl format, I might be tempted to buy this edition. have the double on vinyl and then maybe the 6 CD. But that's a 2 LP set. And then finally we get the humble 2 CD deluxe edition. No spot varnishing, they kind of cut a few corners on this one. But I have to say, this is it's pretty good value, this, because you get an 18 track B-side and bonus tracks, bonus disc effectively. So this is the same disc that you get in the 6 CD Super Deluxe. So it is pretty generous in terms of bonus tracks. You do get Murder by Numbers on CD1, and it is also on CD1 of the 6 CD box set. Murder by Numbers was a CD bonus track originally, but when they did the Police album CD box set, they took it off and they put it on the bonus CD, probably because they felt like they had to fill that up a little bit. So yeah, Murder by Numbers, it was correctly part of the original CD, but it wasn't really part of the original album, so it's a bit of a weird one, that. In theory, they could have moved it onto here, but I've got a feeling that's all full up. This is the kind of budget option, but as I say, it's very generous, so I think this is actually quite good. Obviously, there's nothing unreleased on this, that's the big thing. There's no alternate mixes, no demos. You do get a nice little booklet, which actually has quite a lot of notes in it. So yes, that's the 2 CD deluxe edition of the Police Synchronicity. So I hope you've enjoyed this look at the Police Synchronicity reissue, all the various formats that came out last week. I've said this a few times, but I think this 6 CD edition is surely one of the box sets, if not the box set of the year for 2024. I'll have to wait and see what else comes out, but it's very, very strong offering, underlined by the fact that this album's never really been reissued or expanded. It has been reissued, but there's never been any unreleased bonus tracks, demos, anything like that. So 40 years later, you know, for the first time that they've done that with this box set, and I think it's a fantastic job. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this unboxing. Keep holding the music in your hands. Please like and subscribe to the SDE YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.